57. Good morning.
57.
Okay, I want to talk about miracles that I heard of, and maybe some that happened to me. Okay, let's see what is miracles first. Okay. An extraordinary and welcome event that is not explicable by natural or scientific laws and is therefore attributed to a divine agency. And this is from Google, so they will not say God. Say divine agency, okay, which is debatable. They can mean it is the Lord Muruga, or it can be the Buddha, anything else. So, AI is not a mission. So it's something which we cannot explain properly. Yeah, some may call it coincidence, but it is welcome. Take note there, it's a welcome. Welcome, something good, something unexpected that is not good. You don't call it miracles. You call it accident or incident or bad experience. And then go on. I'm going to talk about the Second World War. There is a miracle in a place in France. There's a port named Dunkirk. Okay, it is a port town. It's near the seaside, but it's not actually a port. It's near the seaside. Why it's not a port? Because there's no way to get into the ship. Yeah, if you go to Port Klang, you will see there is a embankment that the ship can come by and stop, and then you can just climb onto the ship. When this is not a port, the ship cannot get near the coast. Yeah, it get too near, the ship gets stuck. When it gets stuck, it cannot move. So the ship cannot get close. So it is a seaside town, but it is not a port. Okay? Let's see what happened. Anybody knows about Dunkirk? I think some of you might have heard about that. There was a movie about it, Weekend in Dunkirk. When I was in school, I watched that movie. Yeah, it's about this. Yeah? If you hear Dunkirk, you go Google, you will tell you about this thing. Okay, this happened during the Second World War. Yeah. Germany decided to expand its border. They have been amassing a lot of tanks. They make new weapons. And don't forget, after the First World War, the Germans will be punished for starting the First World War. Yeah? And the Treaty of Versailles signed in France, they were punished and they were being asked to do this thing, they're sanctioned, they have to pay tax and they have to pay back what they have caused, the trouble, so they are very upset. And then of course, there's Hitler come about and he inspired them, so they start to build the machine. You just wonder how the people did not do anything to stop them from building tanks and warships and planes. Yeah, if you do that, if Japan do that now, the United Nations will stop them. Yeah, because they are also caught in the Second World War, so they are under some kind of punishment. Yeah, Germany cannot produce too many tanks and war machine now, also because of the Second World War. But if this happened after the First World War, I guess there was no United Nations that time. It's called the League of Nations, and they are not very strong. And so Germany was going against all the punishment and start to build a lot of tanks and everything. And it was one of the best at that time. Their plan was one of the best. Messerschmitt, yeah. So they decided to attack Poland on the first day of September. And Poland is an ally of England and France. So England and France declared war on Germany on the 3rd of September, 2 days later. Okay, and so they expect that the Germany, after going to the eastern side, they are going to move to the western side. western side will be going into France and the Low Countries, example, Netherlands and
Belgium.
Belgium. They are called the Low Countries because they are very low. Okay? Yeah, Netherlands, they have the windmills, so they are low country. So the French and the British, they know that they're going, Germany will not be satisfied with the eastern side. They're going to go towards the western side. So they get together and they prepare. So here, the French, you can notice the French flag is the one with the blue and the white and the red, and the British flag there, the Union Jack. So the British is stationed near the northern part of Belgium and France, and then the French army, which is quite a lot of them, it says that it's about 3 million, and the Germans about 2 million plus. Yeah, so with the British, the French were able to hold back the Germans. Yeah, so the French people are concentrated on the southern and eastern side. Then they also concentrated on the northern and eastern side. But there is a place that they said it's no need to protect, no need to cover it up. It's a small part here. Yeah, between here there's a forest. It's a forest, very thick pine trees. They say the German will not be able to cross them. Impregnable, they say. So they are very confident that the German will not come through there. Okay? And don't forget the German, the French border is about 2,700 kilometers long. It's longer than our West Malaysia coastline. Yeah, you go from Penang all around the whole up the eastern side to Kelantan is only 2,000 over kilometers, and the French border is 2,700 kilometers. So it's very big, very hard to take care. So they say leave the Ardennes forest alone. We just concentrate on the northeastern side and the southern side. Yeah, and then that's what exactly the German did. They attacked. Yeah, they attacked through the middle. The British and the French have their cream here. The main fighting forces here, the tank and the artillery and the best soldiers here. But the Germans have all their forces here. Yeah? So they attack and they fell the trees, they go through the Ardennes forest, and they come in and they block off the French and the British army. When you block them off, they don't get food. The supply is cut off. The ammunition is cut off. And morale also drop. Yeah? Morale drop. You kind of lose. Yeah? Lose, you panic. Yeah? And so the French president, not PM, French president at that time, Paul Reynaud, phoned Winston Churchill. Phoned him and tell him the bad news. And Winston Churchill take over just not long after that. Yeah, after the former Prime Minister resigned. So Winston Churchill took over, knowing that he's going to face all these things, but he's brave enough to take over. So he took over, and then Paul Reynaud told him the bad news, yeah, that they're going to lose this war. So then they so the British has most of the soldiers there. 394,000, which is almost all of the British ground force. What's that? They call that the infantry, the walking soldiers. Yeah? Of course, the plane and the ship are still in England. Yeah, maybe some of them come over to bomb, but they can go back. But the walking soldiers that is almost all of them there left in Dunkirk. Yeah? If they were wiped out, England would don't have any foot soldiers, and this is very worrying. Yeah? If the Germans were to land somewhere in England, they will have farmers carrying guns to stop them. So it is panicky, yeah? It's panicky for the British. The soldiers just hang around waiting for something to happen, yeah? Waiting for their commanders to help them. There's no WhatsApp, and there's no, even the drone you can see, you don't have, yeah? Yeah, I don't have those things. So it is quite advanced, but they're not that advanced yet. No internet, nothing. Yeah, so most news are passed through Morse code, through telephone lines. If it is cut, then it's gone. Okay, so it's quite disturbing. Yeah? There's nobody to encourage them. Let's look at the picture here. Yeah, there's Dunkirk and there's Dover, England. That's the nearest part. So the nearest part between these two is around 60 miles, yeah, which is 97 kilometers. And the British give the what they call Operation Dynamo. They want to start Operation Dynamo. That is to send as many soldiers as possible, yeah, to fight the war another day. Yeah, so they activate what is called Operation Dynamo. Dynamo is actually not the power dynamite, no. Dynamo is about that machine that creates electricity. It's dynamo. If you have ever used bicycle in the olden days, the bicycle has a thing that connects to the wheel. As you pedal it, it creates light. Very good. It is, how to say, you don't need you don't need engine. You just use the pedaling to create your lamp. But if you stop pedaling, there's no light. So sometimes not good also. I remember I was going through the dark road in Lundu, Kuching. I was cycling, and then I had to put on the light, so I put on the dynamo and it pressed against the wheel, making pedaling harder. Yeah, but as I pedal, I have light. When I go uphill, I have to climb down. When I push, there's no light, it's very dark. So it's something not so good also. So this is dynamo. Okay, so Operation Dynamo is because in Dover there is a dynamo. And the person, the general who started this, go underground and stay near the dynamo, and he organized this evacuation. So this is why it's called Operation Dynamo. So it's going to start on the 26th of May. The attack on the May 10th, don't forget the German attack, May 10th. 26th of May, England already is right there. England and France. Yeah, actually they did earlier than that. Yeah. On the 20th also of May, the French and the English were already pushed towards the coast, and they are not fighting anymore. They are more like retreating. When you're retreating, you have to shoot. Yeah, you're going backwards like that. So they were all pushed towards the east, the coast, and so they are fighting, defending, hoping something good will happen. Yeah, it's not like they're going to win the war anymore. So Operation Dynamo is going to send ship over to Dunkirk and pick up these people. And like I said, the ship is not able to get near the coast. Yeah, and so they are. The King of England at the time was King George VI. So on the 24th of May, he announced, let's go to church this Sunday, this is 26th, yeah, and pray to God. Yeah, he says, at this fateful hour, at this fateful hour, we turn as our fathers before us have done in all times of trial to God Most High, asking for a miracle. Okay, what miracle would they ask for? That the sea will be calm, that the ship can go over, yeah? That somehow the plane of the Germans will not attack and sink the ship, yeah? And that the soldiers or the German soldiers will not continue attack, yeah? and let the people, because if you are walking towards the coast, your back is to the Germans, and they can shoot you down anytime. Yeah, and so these are the three things they asked for. And what happened? On the 26th of May, the day Operation Reno started, Hitler gave a command to the soldiers, to the tanks, yeah, and those foot soldiers, stop where you are, don't go any further. Yeah, Hitler, who would do that? Why would he do that? Nobody could actually explain. They are not talking about it if you go to Google. Yeah, but I think it's God. Yeah, God give him a feeling of fear. Yeah, don't be too confident. Maybe the British. Yeah, don't forget the British won the First World War. Yeah, maybe it's a trick. Maybe it's a trap. So the Germans stopped right there and waited for 3 days, and they give time to the evacuation. Then another thing happened is, because the sea towards the western, towards the coast is all calm as a mill pond. A mill pond is a small pond, a lake like that, near a mill where they can use it to water the things. It's very calm. So calm as a mill pond. So little ship also come, little boats. Maybe if you have some pan, you can also paddle over across there. Yeah? And so everything come, almost anything that can float, come over to pick someone, one or two people to bring over. Yeah? So it was a good day for the British. And the funny thing is, on the side of the German, it was raining. It was raining. And so the Germans apparently thinking that it's raining the other side, so they did not send their fighter plane over so much. Even if we go over, it's a bit hard to see. And then another thing is the smoke from the buildings. The burning building after being bombed by the Germans, God blew it across the sea, covering the escaping soldiers, so the plane cannot see. The Germans' plane cannot see. Yeah, so it was a miracle. Yeah, it was a miracle. There, the German plane. Yeah, and then after the end of the Operation Dynamo, 338,226 Allied soldiers were rescued, mostly British. Yeah, they were expecting around 30,000 to 45,000. So on June 9, 1940, England declared a National Day of Thanksgiving. That year, not every year. Okay, so that's the miracle of Dunkirk. And with God, anything is possible. Then I want to share with you a miracle of escapes which I experienced. Yeah, one of those nights, my two daughters and I want to go for dinner. They come across a place called Principal Reserve. Yeah, something new. Yeah, reserve for principal. Or whatever it says, it's very expensive. Yeah. So we went over, it's near KSL Mall. Yeah, and so we went over, have a dinner, and it was dark already. Then we was sent by Waze. You know, you use Waze. Waze send you on the way, you just follow. Sometimes it's not very nice. Yeah. At one time I follow Waze. It said turn right, I turn right, and then the car was coming. Wrong. Luckily the car was not fast, so the car stopped, and then somebody horned me, but this car did not horn me. Yeah, I was facing the car coming, oncoming car, following Waze. Yeah, there was no AI, not very good. Yeah, and so miracle escaped that day. We went after dinner. We want to go back. It was dark already, so we follow Waze, and it direct us to a small road that passed by Century Park. You know Century Park? It's an eating place. It's a two-way street, but it's so narrow that sometimes car coming and car going, it's almost like meeting each other. So we went in, and then we can't find any place to go. Yeah, you see all car back and forth, everything in a jam. So we saw there is a small This small inner a car was coming, a big car was coming. So I asked Michelle to drive into that small part there, yeah, so that the car can pass. Yeah, it is not as good as you notice the curve here is about maybe about 5 inches, but that one much higher. It's higher, much higher. Yeah, it's about 1 foot. And we forgot that the thing is there. So the car behind horn. So Michelle pressed on the gas, bang, the bumper, not the curb. Yeah, not the curb. I thought the bumper is gone. But then we got home and we took a look. It's only a little bit of scratch. So we thank God that the angel was there to push it. Maybe we knocked the angel, but the angel is gone.
You hit the
No problem.
I cannot see
So
you
that's
now.
our escape. That they are our escape. So things can happen to you which God provides. Sometimes you ask for parking space, He give you parking space also. Yeah, so when you go out, ask for parking space, you went to KSL Mall, so hard to find parking space that place. I set up go there. And then you ask for protection from accident, protection from crazy drivers, God will provide. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about the greatest of miracles. Miracles of grace. For Christ also suffered once for sins, the just for the unjust, that He might bring us to God, and being put to death in the flesh, but made alive by the Spirit. Okay, let's talk about that later on. Let's look at this a person by the name of Roger Monod. He's a French-Canadian, man who has French roots. So he was good in horse racing. At night he will dream about number of horse, the number of horse that is going to win, and the name of the horse. So the next day go and buy the ticket, and he will win. Yeah. Sometimes we wish that will happen to us. We can buy tickets, we can buy a car. Dr. Koch can buy 3 Alpha, yeah, and then can share out the Alpha to each one of us here. So sometimes we wish we can do that. But he's not happy. He's not. The devil don't promise you happiness. He promise you something to attract you in, but no happiness. Yeah, he has the ability of divination, able to tell things this and that. Yeah, but he's not happy. His parents have always warned him about going close to the devil and other things. So he had that feeling inside of him. But how to get out? He don't know how to pray. When he was young, he heard that his mother died and he did not go to heaven. He was somewhere between heaven and earth. He got very angry. He said, God is a tyrant. Ask for money. Yeah? So he don't believe in God. So after that, he never go to church. Yeah? He started to delve into this evil thing, and then he got involved with this devil worshipper. And devil worshipper, they don't show you that they are worshiping devil. They are very good businessmen. They're very rich. They wear suits and you don't know. They look very nice, very good, drive good cars, and then you don't know they're devil worshippers. But they will ask you to come, join me, I will bring you to lunch, and then so they talk about this thing and that thing. Yeah, how you do this, do that, to get good business. Then slowly draw you in to certain kind of meetings, and the meeting get more and more into devil worshipping. Yeah? He knows now that it is not good. But they want him to join, come in, be a member. He was not a member yet. Yeah? So they want him to join November 1st, 1946, just after the war. Yeah? Just after the war. He works at an embroidery company, yeah, and then he helped in sewing this and that. But he's very bad temper. Everything the machine stuck, he will shout and he will scold and he will the swearing word. One day he sat beside a newcomer named Cyril Grouse. And Cyril Grouse is a Sabbath keeper. Okay, and he asked to be off on Sabbath day. Okay, so that's why he come to this place to work, because the owner of this place is a Jew who also keeps Sabbath. Yeah. So this Cyril is going to be a Seventh Adventist. The wife is Seventh Adventist, but he's not. So he's working there. He was very, very nice. Yeah. Every time the machine gets stuck, he will just whistle and wait for it to be right, and then he will just be very calm and patient. So this attracted Roger. So Roger asked him, I want to meet your wife, I want to know about the Bible. Okay? And so he was brought home and he was well received by the family of, by the wife of this Syrian. Then he said, I want to learn more about the Bible. Then they said to him, we will call the pastor and he will give you Bible study. No, I want to know about it now, he said. Yeah? If next week I might not be here, he said. Okay? So they said, okay, we will give you a Bible study following this set of Bible studies. Yeah? And it had 28 copies, 28 lessons. And so Cyril will read the question, and then the wife Cynthia will read the Bible text. Then they try to explain to him what the Bible text said. So he just said, but then he asked to smoke. Okay, he is a chain smoker. Don't forget this. When the devils take over, he always want to destroy the temple of the Holy Spirit, your body. Yeah? So you will be asked to drink, you'll be asked to smoke, all kinds of bad things. So he is under this influence. He smoked. Chain smoker, one cigarette after another. He asked to smoke. Yeah? And Cyril was worried because Cynthia always get runny nose and teary eyes if people smoke. But Cynthia said, never mind, God will protect me. And throughout the old Bible studies, yeah, for 3 days, 3 nights, they continue on. She never had this allergy. So God bless her, yeah, God bless her. Then at the end of the Bible study, he went home and he was attacked by an unseen force and trying to strangle him. Yeah? But they have taught him how to pray. So he called out Jesus' name and the attack stopped. Then he realized that God is stronger than the devil. His new master is stronger than the devil. So he read Matthew chapter 27, which teach him about the blood of Christ, how Christ died on the cross to save him, and how surrendering to Christ, he will be able to overcome the devil. Okay? And he start to pray every time, and that becomes his habit. Yeah, in Revelation 12 verse 11, and they overcame him, Satan, by the blood of the Lamb. That was one of his famous verses. Okay, so he was baptized into the Adventist church. He threw away all his cigarettes and never stopped smoking again, just like our friend Roger, if you remember. And then sleep was sweet, no more nightmares, no more disturbance. Okay? To end the sermon, there is the book he wrote. This book, he wrote a book, yeah, and a few more books. Then this is the verse I want us to look at, verses. Why miracles happen and then not? Why did some people, like Stephen, die in storm? Why God didn't protect him? The most important thing, if you look at this one, is Jesus replied, let us go somewhere else, to the nearby villages, so that I can preach there also. That is why I have come. Jesus did not come to create miracles. He came to preach. Why? Because the miracle of grace is more important. His death on the cross to save us is more important than to heal us. So if we are not healed, but if our heart is healed, that is the best thing. Okay? And that concludes my sermon for today.